Hello, it is Thursday, June 20th, 2019. Time is flying. Tomorrow's the summer solstice. Longest day of the year, they say. Cannot wait for that and cannot wait for you to hear today's episode. We have an interview with a guy that doesn't talk much, is a big name, and is a man who's going to come back with a vengeance. And whenever he's doing that, you'll get a chance to see him if you'd like. Get a ticket to one of his games. Get a ticket to an event where he's going to dominate, because there's only one ticket buying platform on planet Earth, and the moon. Aliens are living inside of it.
Yep.
You called it.
I did. Mm-hmm.
I saw the article.
Election night, biggest news of the night. I called 5 months in advance. Mm-hmm. Aliens inside the moon. I've been calling for about a year and a half in advance.
Easily.
It's hard. It is hard breaking all the biggest news. And also I saw a video from Elon Musk basically saying he was an alien. So
Avengers movie.
Oh,
Another one.
Another
Forgot about
one.
that one.
I mean, I completely forgot about that.
Come on.
Let alone me calling the Raptors winning.
Fucking Nostradamus over here.
Speaking of the Raptors.
Wait. Sorry?
The Raptors winning. I predicted,
You called that one, didn't you?
I called it. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
There was other people in the office that said the Milwaukee Bucks were going to win.
Right.
They took a stand and said the Milwaukee Bucks were
Then
going to
there's
win.
other people that actually said, hey, I'm going to take the field. You guys take the Warriors. And you know what? Bunch of you fish bit.
Well, I mean,
Bunch of you fish bit.
yeah, but the problem with
There's no problem. There's no problem. It's documented. It's on air. It's okay. You're on. Okay, good. By the way, before this Pittsburgh trip, I am going to H&R.
you go to H&R. We'll also go to H&R to talk about the guy who's trying to claim that he won a bet said the Milwaukee Bucks were going to win the NBA
And
title.
once they were out, then a new bet started, brother.
But what we're saying is you H&R is going to be sick of your shit too. You know what I mean?
That's fine. You owe me 80.
confirm.
How much do we owe you?
80.
Everybody owes you 80?
Well, it was 4-1 I gave you on the 20. So I was paying you guys $20 a piece when the Warriors won. Or if somebody else won, you guys are paying me $80 a pick. And Ty Schmidt, don't think I'm not looking at you.
That's fine, pal. Your bet was null and void, and you got a king suite this weekend. So
Yeah.
you get
Wait,
paid
null and void.
And we had to move hotels because Gorman refused to stay in a double room.
I know your CFO's burying me when he talks to you on the phone, but if he goes back to the email, I'm happy to pay for my own room.
That's not what we do
Thank
here.
you. Well,
That's not what we do
I'm
here.
just saying.
Team.
We're a
One
team.
one dream, baby.
Speaking of team, joining our team today is a guy from Canada. Shout out to Gumpy making the trip to the States.
Yeah.
He will never be a citizen here because the process of becoming a citizen here is not just tough on the southern border, by the way. We've learned the northern border is also difficult. Happy to see Gumpy still alive because Gumpy paints ships for a living and inhales toxic fumes on a nightly basis, but he will be with us this weekend for a tour. Can't wait for that. And we can't wait to sell tickets on SeatGeek because right now you use promo code PAT. You get $10 off your first order. Promo code McAfee, get $20 off your first order. SeatGeek is the greatest ticket buying platform on planet Earth and the moon because they scour and scan all the other ticket buying platforms to make sure you're getting the best ticket at the best price. And the ticket that you buy is the ticket that you get. There's no catfishing with SeatGeek because they're good people selling great tickets to immaculate humans like yourself. Shout out SeatGeek for being the presenting sponsor. Also, I was entrenched in a war. For 4 days. Dug my heels into the microphone. I am not a go to war guy.
Nope.
I am not a let's have beef guy.
Nope.
I am not a I want to waste my energy on something that doesn't bring me happiness guy.
Nope.
But what had happened on the internet this past weekend on my Twitter account and my Instagram, every man has his limits.
Yep.
I decided I had to go to war with the United States Golf Association for trying to kick me off of Twitter for a video that I created, a video that I commentated on, a video that I posted onto my Twitter and Instagram, a video that led me to become the top influencer for the U.S. Open, the biggest golf tournament of the year. And the USGA attempted to ban me from social media.
What?
I dug my heels in. I said, I will not stand for this, because if you stand for nothing, you will fall.
For anything.
For anything.
The French.
Said that. They didn't say that, actually.
Yeah, they just did it.
They're the example. We should have put an IE before you said French. IE.
The French.
The French. Sorry to our French listeners.
Merci beaucoup.
I've checked our demographic, not a lot of them.
Correct.
Today, an armistice was signed between myself and the USGA. The USGA reached out to me twice today, letting me know that they had made a mistake, that they are very sorry for what had happened, that they are reaching out to Twitter to get the DMCA and the strike off of my record.
There we go.
They wanted to implore me and ask me to continue to make these types of videos, and they are sorry for what had happened and the miscommunication over the weekend. So I would like it to say on the record that I officially am 100% friends with the USGA.
Look at you.
Now you need them to talk to the RNA so that you're able to do these videos for the Open.
Yep, we'll see what happens in the future. They were very kind, very nice. They were polite, and I would like to say that all wars come to an end. This one came to a proper ending. Two sides met and chatted. They sent their representatives, 2 of them, to chat with me. We talked it out. We handled it. Everything's good to go, and I am very thankful for the USGA handling it in this situation. Do I think they personally attacked me? Yes. I do.
Sure.
Do I think this ending happens without me publicly going to war? No.
No way.
So was this all for naught? Absolutely not. I appreciate everybody that listened and tagged USGA. I appreciate everybody that found that video, which was hilarious. You found it hilarious. I'm very thankful for you, and I'm very thankful for the USGA understanding, giving me a call, and straightening things out. We are no longer at odds with the USGA, which is better for everybody. Very thankful for them. Great. Shout out to the USGA. Honestly. Gary Goldman has a joke. I don't remember the exact words, and I can't deliver it anywhere near as good as him. But he said old people back in the day never complained about anything, so there was never any advancements. They used those shitty phones for so long where they had to until one generation came around and was like, this phone sucks. And then that made an advancement, and now we have a computer as a phone. Back in the day, computers used to be the size of rooms, and there was never a complaint about how big it was. So they were just like, yeah, we have a computer, it's good. Until a generation came through and started complaining about things that made real changes. I don't like complaining. I don't like going to war. But if it wasn't for this, I do believe, and it wasn't for you people listening, I don't believe this relationship I'm about to have with the USGA would ever be possible. So thank you for that. Thank you to USGA for understanding. Now let's get to the best basketball conversation we've ever had on this show. If you don't like basketball, that's okay. I think you're going to love this conversation. Zito has a question.
Swish.
It's a statement. He was just holding his hand up.
Ready for the shot. That's on me. It was folded back.
You missed.
Zeet from deep.
Swish.
Basketball seat.
Good.
Brick.
Come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, possibly joining us now is a man from Brownsburg, Indiana. He played his college basketball at the prestigious Butler University right here in Indianapolis, Indiana. While he was there, he led the Bulldogs to a Final Four, then a national championship, merely missing by a 16th of an inch to win a natty for the Bulldogs. He then went to Utah. Now he's with the Boston Celtics. He found a great barber. Ladies and gentlemen, possibly Gordon Hayward.
Hey, what's up, Pat? How you doing?
Is this actually Gordon Hayward? I got a lot of questions. You text me with a green text message. I got your phone number literally from a random guy at a bar here in Indianapolis. I'm kind of mind blown by the whole thing. I'm a big fan. I hope it's the case. Is this actually Gordon Hayward?
This is actually Gordon Hayward. I don't know why you're so upset about the color of the text bubbles.
Well,
You gotta have to get over that.
It's 2019, Gordon. You are a wealthy man. Anytime a blue text message doesn't show up, I'm immediately disgusted. But when it comes from one of the most handsome professional athletes, I guess I can overlook it. Let's get right into this, Gordon. I was reading into you, and I got a chance to learn about you because when I was with the Colts, the Butler Bulldogs were the topic of conversation here in Indianapolis. So much fun, so much energy. And when you guys are making those runs, it was an incredible thing. You came out of high school from a local team here. Was Butler your only school that offered you, aside from tennis, obviously, but for basketball? How did you end up at Butler, and how did you end up a Bulldog?
Yeah, so I grew up obviously in Brownsburg, which is close to Butler, but my parents were both Purdue grads. So I was like brainwashed my whole life to go to Purdue, and that's what I wanted to do, play basketball at Purdue. And I can remember, I think I was a freshman or a sophomore, and my dad was asking me like, hey, what do you think about Butler? And I was like, yeah, I'd never go there. Like, I'm never going to go to Butler. There's no way. I thought they were a D2 school, to be honest, at the time. And, you know, kind of one thing led to another, and I ended up taking an official visit to Butler and fell in love with it and Coach Stevens and their whole program. But besides them, I got offered by Purdue and I got offered by IUPUI, but that was about it. So I was a late bloomer.
Well, the Butler run that you guys had was magical, to say the least, especially for the national championship to happen here in Indianapolis. The entire state of Indiana was behind you. You go on and be the 9th pick for the Utah Jazz. When you got to the NBA, did you assume that you were going to be able to pick it up as easy? Did you expect some troubles, or were you excited to translate into the NBA game?
I didn't really know what to expect. Like, I think, you know, I always had a dream of playing in the NBA. I didn't necessarily like think or know that it was going to happen. Certainly didn't think I would leave early from college. And then, you know, to be honest, after when we went to the title game, you know, the next probably 4 or 5 months was just like a whirlwind. I mean, it was immediate, like 2 weeks afterwards, you know, I thought about what I wanted to do. We decided that I was going to leave and try to go play in the NBA. And as soon as, you know, we decided that, then you're thrown into, you know, pre-draft stuff. You're going to combine, then you're going all the way, you know, around the country doing different workouts, just trying to play your best basketball, going from one to the next. I think I ended up doing 14 or 15 plus workouts for different teams. And so I wasn't like a guy that was like, oh, this dude's going to be, you know, a top 10 pick. Like, I was projected anywhere from like 5 to like 25. And so I had no clue where I was going to go, where I was going to be. And then, you know, Utah drafted me, and immediately after you get drafted, you know, you kind of get thrown into summer league, and you're then just trying to, you know, survive your best basketball at the next level. So I didn't really have time to think about what it was going to be like, or if I was going to struggle, or if it was going to be easy. I kind of was just going in with the mindset of, you know, I got a lot of work to do. This is now my job, and just try to get better, you know, year by year.
Okay, so if I have this right, basketball, it's a little bit different than every other sport. You can kind of test the waters of going professional, and then you can decide not to go. You're being projected 5 to 25, and you still decided to go instead of come back to Butler. Is there any reason you decided to do that other than just completely betting on handsome Gordon Hayward?
Well, I mean, I think with basketball especially, you know, if you're projected to go in the first round, you're guaranteed 2 years on an NBA roster. And it's almost like you have to go, because if you don't, you know, and then your game's just going to be scrutinized over for the next year. And on top of that, you're going to get, you know, a whole nother class of freshmen. And everybody in the NBA loves potential and that whole thing. And so if you wait, you kind of it's almost, you know, you might get injured. You never know what's going to happen. So it was kind of just a decision like, hey, we got to go try this. Let's just go, you know, bet on yourself and just try it.
Okay, so this will be airing tomorrow, which tonight is the draft. What are the feelings for people that are going into the NBA? In the NFL draft, the first round is basically figured out. I'd assume the same thing in the NBA, although you said it's a big question mark. What are the thoughts? Like, for instance, I mean, there's a lot of movement that happens in the NBA. What do you think the guys are thinking going into tonight? Is it something they're just going to try to enjoy, or is there a world of pressure on everybody going into draft night? And how did you handle that whole thing? Were you with your family? Were you at the draft? How did you handle it all?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like so different. Like each individual has such a different story of the draft and kind of how it works. I mean, I think initially, you're projected in a certain range. It's kind of, okay, I think I'm going to go in the first round, but then, based on how you did at the combine, based on how you're doing at workouts, and if you go work out for one team, all the other teams talk. So it's almost like each workout you're working out for everybody. And then you kind of get a sense, through your agent, like, okay, we kind of have, an agreement with this team at 12, like they're definitely going to take you at 12 if nobody else, takes you beforehand. And usually if you get one of those type of, agreements or whatever, you kind of know that you're going to get picked. And so then you can decide, do I want to go to New York, or do I want to stay and, do something with my family, whatever. And, for me, my agent, said, or had a strong feeling that I was going to be drafted, in the lottery, and which is 1 through 14. And so then he was like, hey, let's go to New York. It'll be fun. We can see the city, and it's an experience you only get to, do once. So, I think when I'm sitting there, though, I was with my whole family and my agent, and you're sitting at these tables, and other than kind of knowing, I think I was going to be, at a couple of spots, it's not like I knew I was going to go to Utah or anything like that. So you're still kind of sitting there, and I knew I wasn't going to be like top 5. And so that part's easy. But then after that, my name could be called at any point in time, and you're kind of just like sitting there, like anxious. Like, where am I going to be the next, part of my life? Like, it's life changing. And, so that part is definitely nerve wracking. And, then right before, Utah picked, we got a call, and Mark was like, all right, this is going to be you. This is going to be you right here. And then, it's a circus after that.
The thought of potentially becoming an Aaron Rodgers or Brady Quinn or Johnny Manziel in the draft room I think that's my nightmare, by the way, especially after what you had just accomplished with Butler and I said this in the intro, a 16th of an inch away from winning a natty with one of the most spectacular shots in the history of college basketball. If you have one of those draft moments, I couldn't even imagine the pundits being like, Gordon Hayward has been through enough. I hate that whole.
Right.
Yeah.
you're definitely thinking that in the back of your mind, but I think that's kind of where, hopefully your agent has talked to these teams, and you kind of know, like, all right, I think I'm pretty good.
As somebody who doesn't follow the AAU and the basketball come up as much as others probably do, and I host a sports podcast, so it's probably something I should do. But when these Europeans get drafted out of fucking nowhere, like out of nowhere, do the other players, yourself included, like know about them going into the draft? Have you ever seen them before? Have you played with them before? Or is it a curveball for you guys as well? It's like, well, who knows who the hell this guy is? He's going to get a couple $1 million more than me because he played against 4 foot tall white guys over in Greece.
I mean, I think there's always guys, like, I think last year was a good example, like Luka Doncic. Like, I'm sure everybody knew who he was because he was such a big story. But there's always guys that seem like they get picked, like you said, it's literally out of nowhere, and they're picked like 11 or 12, and you're like, I've never heard of this guy at all. And you're like looking at your agent, like, who is this? And he's like, man, I don't know who that is either. Like, they must have just found him. And certain teams, I think, have, European scouts that probably do, better job than others at finding guys. And I will say there's always sometimes, like, I think that teams kind of have agreements with agents, and this might be more of a case over in Europe than here, just because it's I think easier to kind of protect against them. But sometimes if the team really likes a player, I mean, they can say, like, hey, don't work out for anybody. Like, I don't want you doing anything. We're going to draft you at this spot. And we don't want any other teams to see you. So sometimes I guess it could be something like that, but there's always guys that just come out of nowhere for sure.
Okay, so you get drafted. Have you seen Zion play? Obviously, you don't live under a rock. You got 45 kids, all girls. I saw the gender reveal, which was awesome, by the way. You got judged pretty hard by the internet.
Daddy's always happy, man.
Congrats on another girl, by the way, and I assume you're gonna have another one at some point as well. So congrats on another girl again.
Well, I talked with Philip Rivers about some things, and he mentioned that he started with 3 girls.
Are you going to start? Hold on. Are you starting an entire farm of kids like Philip Rivers has?
Yeah. See that's the thing. I'm sure he wasn't worried about it when he was going for 10, 11, 12 kids or whatever he's got. Like, I'm sure. I don't think I'm doing that. No.
You stopped in Utah for a bit and decided to have 45 kids. I respect it. The Mormons didn't deserve that. I have friends that are Mormons. All respect. Oh, Jesus. Okay, so have you seen Zion, though? Do you think his game...
Oh, yeah.
He's incredible, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, when you watch him, I haven't seen him in person, but watching it on TV and seeing some of his highlights, it's just like not fair. I mean, some of the things he's able to do, I mean, it's like he should be on the football field. Like the weight that he has and his ability to move and explode up to the rim. I mean, I think he's going to be, he's a game changer as soon as he steps on the court. So, I think as long as he doesn't get hurt, I think he's going to be, he's going to certainly sell tickets, to whoever has them, but beyond that, and highlight reels, but beyond that, I think he's a game changer. And in the NBA, it's going to be even, there's more space, there's better playmakers, guys are faster, and so I think he's going to have his way.
We interrupt this incredible conversation with Gordon Hayward to let you know that the old school way of buying an engagement ring does not cut it anymore.
I thought elephants create diamonds.
You'd like to shit them out?
Like they sit on something, and the pressure from that creates a diamond.
Not your mom. Like a pearl from an oyster?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
You thought diamonds came from...
Elephants.
Well, fun fact, they don't.
Can we say that for sure, though?
We can for sure say that because there is a new company creating diamonds that do it in a completely new fashion that are absolutely ethical and environmentally, morally sound.
Wow.
All right.
Couple.co. That's couple.co. The old school way of buying an engagement ring does not cut it anymore. Zito was completely wrong about elephants creating diamonds. It's actually a much more brutal way of getting the diamonds than Zito's little mind could even fathom. Is that right, Zito?
Yep, I'm searching it right now.
Don't. The only thing you need to search is couple.co. Couple.co are lab-grown diamonds that match a earth-mined diamond all the way down to the smallest atom.
Ooh, wow.
It's awesome.
Insane.
It is awesome.
Yeah.
Completely changing the game on how diamonds are made. The quality is next level. Couple.co only sells exceptional diamond quality. The difference with higher graded characteristics can only be observed in a lab, not with the naked eye. Each Couple.co diamond and ring goes through a 12-step quality control process to make sure this is the case. Wow. Couple.co is flipping the diamond game on its head. If you're in this room and there's a lot of pressure on you to potentially get an engagement ring, I would implore you, nay, motivate you to go to Couple.co. Let me tell you why, Diggs.
Why, Pat?
You can buy online.
I see that.
No more bouncing around from store to store like I had to do. Getting stressed out. Am I getting ripped off right now? I don't got a goddamn fucking little eyeglass thing like the guy from Monopoly. I don't know what I'm looking at. What do I get, my iPhone flashlight on it to see what colors bounce back? I don't know any of that stuff. Am I getting ripped off? Probably, possibly. Who knows? All I'm looking to do is say I love you forever. And now there's a company that's looking out for you and you can do it online. Couple.co simplifies the engagement ring buying process by doing the hard work for you. By cutting out the middlemen or women wholesales, Couple.co enables you to get a 35% larger larger diamond versus a mined diamond of the same price. The Diamond Concierge customization service and innovative packaging create a personalized experience. So go to couple.co/Pat and try out their Diamond Concierge and customization service. You can jump on the phone with someone today who will help you walk through the process and help you get a bigger, better, quality diamond in the perfect ring. Again, that is couple.co/Pat to make this process stress-free for the first time in human history. Go to couple.co/Pat. These diamonds are the truth. Oh, yeah. I wish I would have known about them before I got them.
They look great.
They do look great. They're great priced and ethically and morally sound.
No elephants are hurt.
That's right, Cito.
Thank you.
No elephants hurt. We're hurt in this conversation with Gordon Hayward either. Let's get back to it. So, in NBA coaches don't always get the credit that other professional coaches get, right? I mean, I literally sat behind the Miami Heat bench while they were playing the Indiana Pacers in the finals, and I watched Eric Spoelstra hold a dry erase marker to a dry erase board and not move it one time during an entire timeout. And I think that kind of gets talked about a lot, where they're like, the athletes make the plays, the athletes make the plays. But Steve Kerr, if you watch what he has been able to do with the Golden State Warriors after Jackson leaves, and Brad Stevens with Boston, I think coaching can really help. Maybe not even in the games, kind of let the guys do their things, but in practice. Do you think the coaching in the NBA is going to be able to change a player like Zion into a very much well-rounded player? And for you, what did it do for you coming out of Butler to make you a more full-rounded player when you don't have to worry about faking through school? Not that you would, but I'm saying other people, and just fully focusing on basketball.
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit it like perfectly. I think being able to just only like play basketball and work on your game is huge, especially for a young player just able to develop. So, I mean, I think it's like the results speak for themselves with the teams and the coaches that they have. I mean, you look at the Spurs, them developing players. The Jazz have done a great job developing guys, and so it's really the coach and then the coaching staff, and then also just the culture of bringing in guys and being able to kind of develop their games and, as you would say, making guys more well-rounded. I think that there should actually be I think teams should employ almost like a redshirt program sometimes, for guys like they have in college, where, you draft an 18-year-old or a 19-year-old who, maybe isn't all the way ready to play NBA games. And you literally just let them lift the whole year, eat right the whole year. You could even throw them down again, play in some of the G League games, or only play in practice, whatever. And you're giving somebody a whole year just to train. You could come back and just be a monster. I think that would be incredible for somebody that's, 18, 19, still growing.
Yeah, the guys are so young getting into the NBA. They just have so much talent, yourself included. I mean, you went to college 2 years, and you couldn't even have not that you do, but you couldn't even have a legal drink yet, and you're in the NBA, and now you're expected to help a franchise win games. The NBA, the way it operates, and I think the NFL should at some point, obviously. If a guy's good enough to make the NFL, let him go, but that is a crazy thought to think hey, there's some maturing that has to happen both physically, emotionally, and mentally to become a full pro, and maybe we shouldn't judge him as hard early, let him get better. I think that's a brilliant idea by you. Speaking of growing and maturing both physically and emotionally, so what, you just found a barber and then became the hottest guy on earth when you got rich? What happened with this whole thing?
I really did. I was going to Great Clips. That was, the deal. My mom just took me to Great Clips and just got the normal haircut, got out of the shower, just whatever, you're ready to go. And I think originally my wife was like, hey, you should come see this guy that I go to. He cuts men's hair too. And at the time I was like, no, hell no way. I'm not doing that. But I ended up just going and getting the haircut. And I think when you have a good haircut and, you just like the way that it makes you feel, and kind of just start from there.
Look good, feel good. Feel good, play
there
good.
You go.
Play good, pay good. Pay good, live good, die good, and that's all we're trying to do here. Speaking of,
So you added some onto that. I didn't know those other things you added on.
well,
I like that.
Deion Sanders had that first batch there, and then the live good, die good thing. It's really all we're about here. If I can add a little something to one of the greatest football players of all time, it feels good. But I remember whenever you were up for free agency coming out of Utah, and all the talk was about how attractive you got in Utah because it seemed like people had forgot about you, and how you were this highly sought after free agent. Brad Stevens ends up in Boston. Was there any chance of you going anywhere else other than to rekindle with Brad Stevens again?
Yeah, I mean, I think I took 3 visits. I took one to Miami, took one to Boston, and then met with the Utah guys in San Diego. And all 3 of them were, I think I remember calling my agent after all of them being like, yeah, I'm going here. I went to Miami first, and I remember calling him and thinking like, this is the spot. Like, well, I don't have to, let's cancel the other ones. I'll just sign right now. And, he's like, no, he's like, you're going to feel that way after all these. And so there's definitely a chance that I, wouldn't have ended up in Boston. I think, it was an unbelievably hard decision for me to make. But, it was just, familiarity with Brad, and, I loved the way that the Boston team was set up, and, I liked Danny a lot as well. And so, that's kind of, then I just, decided to make that decision. But, there was very well could have ended up in the other 2 spots.
What makes Brad Stevens such a good coach? What is it? Obviously, basketball IQ is something that everybody has to have if they're going to become an NBA head coach. What he did at Butler was miraculous, to say the least. You thought they were a D2 school and you lived in Indianapolis, and then they go on this run. What makes Brad Stevens such a good coach, especially because there are some teams there that weren't great that Brad Stevens literally coached to victories? What makes Brad so good at being a basketball head coach? Because he's so young, too. I mean, he looks like a child.
Yeah. I mean, I think more than anything, and I always get this, everyone always asks me, like, what makes Brad such a good coach? And I think more than anything with him is his preparation, like his work ethic. Like, I mean, he works at it, and I've never been around a coach that's more prepared than him. And he was the same way in college. I can remember in college going over plays, because you have more time to prepare in college for teams. You're only playing twice a week. And I can remember, going over plays against our team, and he would tell the other team, okay, this is how they're going to guard an out of bounds play. And so you guys have to guard like that. And then he would bring us over and he'd draw up a play, and he'd say, hey, they're going to switch the first one. So you're going to slip, and then somebody's going to help over. And then the skip pass across is going to be wide open. He's going to fall asleep on the backside. And I'd take the ball out, and I'm thinking to myself, like, no way this works exactly like that. And sure enough, that's exactly what would happen. And that comes from like preparing, watching the film, like seeing exactly what they're going to do, watching, every clip that they've done in different situations. And so when he gets into the moment and he actually does have to call a play or draw something, like he's already done it in his head, or we've already practiced it. And so it's easy at that point in time. So it's, certainly I think he's, got some natural, basketball IQ he played, but more than anything, I think it's the preparation.
So you end up with Boston, back with Brad Stevens, and it starts in a terribly unlucky fashion. I mean, just absolutely the worst possible thing happens, and I don't want to pile on it. Obviously, you had to live through it. That is nowhere near how you thought this new, I mean, it's your dream coming true, right? A massive contract. Now you're in a massive city, you're in a storied franchise, and boom, in the first quarter of everything, how your life is supposed to go, in your next chapter of your life, everything changes. And now the focus becomes straight back to rehab and getting back on the court. What has been the most challenging thing about that whole thing? And you literally stumbling out of the blocks here with Boston, both mentally and physically. The rehab was probably terrible. Mentally, it's probably tough to get over. How has been the process of kind of dealing with that, both mentally and physically?
Yeah, man, I can't lie about it. It's brutal. Especially like you said, I made I gave up a lot to come to Boston, and first game of the year, go down, and I've never had a bad injury like that, so that was the first one. And so, thankful that we have the modern medicine that we do today to be able to, get me back out on the court, but also thankful to have a support staff that I had. having my wife and the girls to help you through it mentally, because there's definitely times where you just want to quit, and you're like, this isn't, this isn't fun, this isn't worth it, but it's a job, and you get through it. And I think probably the most frustrating thing was feeling like, I got back on the court, but not being able to, do some of the things that I had remembered doing kind of my whole life. And then when I was in Utah, and I think people also, so kind of that feeling of, okay, I'm back now, I should go right back to the way I was. And I guess people forget that there was going to be an adjustment period regardless of if I got hurt or not, because you're coming to a new team, new players, new system, the whole deal. And so on top of coming back from the injury, I had to deal with coming back, and dealing with that stuff, the new system and new team. And so it certainly was very frustrating. And, still doing my rehab exercises today on my ankle. And, I think it's going to be something I just deal with for the rest of my career. But, it's one of those things. It is what it is, and you got to try to just use it to make you stronger. Going to be exciting to get back out there again next year.
Did it scare you whenever you came back? Did it scare you where you're like, you know what, I've never had that type of injury before. Now I know what's possible. Was there a mental hurdle that either you're still battling right now, or whenever you were first getting back into it this past year, like, oh shit, this could happen again, or something terrible could happen again? Was that a mental hurdle that you were having?
Yeah, it was definitely a little bit of a mental hurdle. Basically trying to go into the paint and not just, shoot a floater, like trying to attack bigs, trying to challenge them at the rim, going up for an alley-oop. I remember the first time that I went for an alley-oop, and it was just in, like with one other person, nobody else was on the court. And, that took, I remember I went up the first time, and then like I didn't jump, and I was like, okay, hold on, let me redo that. Let me try this again. And, all those little things. And then even when you're practicing, like there's nothing like a game. So getting back in front of the fans, being in front of, the whole arena, and having the confidence to go and try to finish and attack the basket, like that was something that I didn't know was going to take as long as it did. And so for sure I was dealing with that at the beginning of the season. And I think I'm at a point now where it just takes reps, honestly. It takes reps of just doing it and doing it and doing it. And, I think falling down, getting bodied, and then landing on my foot awkwardly to where it's like, okay, yeah, no, it's fine. Like, it's strong, it's healthy. Like, I don't need to worry about it anymore. But your mind has to go through those mental reps too, not just, your ankle.
I didn't even think about you having to adjust to a new team too, like, because the signing happens there and you don't even get a chance to kind of gel. It's not like, okay, boys, when I get back, we're going to do exactly what we did. I didn't even think about that. You compound that with the mental hurdle and the physical thing. It's no wonder that you struggled this past, not struggled, but I mean, you didn't have the year you had in Utah this past year. And almost now there's a lot of drama in the NBA. I think the NBA might be the most drama-filled league of all time. But now with all these things that are happening, moves and trades and opting out, you and Tatum are now the face of the franchise again. Is that something you're excited for, that type of challenge to be like, hey, I'm the guy up here with Tatum and Brad, but hey, I'm the guy of this storied franchise in Boston now. I don't care who wants to come play with us, who doesn't want to play with us. I have faith in the coach to be able to put a scheme together for us to win, and I'm ready to ride. Is that kind of the mindset now that you're back in being the face of one of the most historical basketball franchises in the history of the game?
You know what? I think for me, it's like I've been on just focused on trying to get myself the strongest, the fastest, the quickest I've ever been, and not worrying about other things right now. There's, like you said, man, the NBA, it's things can change like overnight. And so the draft, who knows what's going to happen. You got to really control what you can control. And for me, that's getting in there every morning, getting my work, my lift, doing my rehab when I'm at home, really trying to be, really diligent about that stuff. And, at the end of the day, it doesn't, for me, I'm just trying to help us win basketball games. I came to Boston to try to win an NBA championship, and that's still the ultimate goal. And, whether or not it's, it doesn't matter to me who's at the face of the team or anything like that. Like you said, we trust the organization to put a team together that can try to help us do that. And I trust, the coaching staff and everybody that I'm working with. And like I said, man, I'm super excited to get back at it again next year.
Who's some people or some players on the Celtics, because you got to watch a lot of the practices, I assume, and got to watch a lot whenever you're injured, and even last year as you're trying to get back in it. Who are some younger players that Celtics fans should be excited about that are going to potentially get some shine this upcoming year?
Well, I think, everybody saw a lot of our younger players in action. We had our team was so deep. I think throughout the year, I think different guys had different times where they really shine. I think certainly, like you just said, I don't know what our team's going to look like come next season. But I have had a chance. Rob Williams has been in the gym with me this summer, and I think he's somebody that, as long as he continues to work, there's definitely an adjustment when you are in college, and then when you get to the NBA, you gotta learn how to have the right work ethic and how to be a professional. And I think he's somebody where the sky's the limit for him, man. He's long and athletic, jumps effortlessly up, to block shots or to catch lobs. And he's somebody that I've been in the gym with. And, I'm hoping that he continues to work and continues to progress. And I think he can be, a monster.
Do you have you get green text message? So do you have the internet on your phone?
Do you ever look at reviews for phones or anything like that, or you just like blindly go into the Apple store and just pick the newest thing? Like, that's what you're about?
Yeah, I am blindly walking right towards the Apple, and I don't like the Tim Cook era here. I'm a Steve Jobs guy, been around since Terrible Dad Steve Jobs was running the whole thing, brilliant mind. But do you follow along with the drama, or are you one of those guys who kind of lives in your own world and doesn't read the press clippings or anything like that?
You're talking about the NBA, or?
Yeah, I'm talking about NBA. And I say this as a person who literally lives on the internet. The NBA has more bullshit associated with it whenever it comes to egos and drama, and then talking heads making up storylines, and then this happening and this happening. Do you follow along with any of that, or do you kind of just live in your own world? I got 45 kids. I just got to get better at basketball.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I have a Twitter and I have an Instagram, and you'll see me post every once in a while, but I also have, people that help me with that stuff. And so I had to get off of Twitter, especially when I got injured. That was one of the things for me is I was on Twitter and I was, reading what people are saying and the Instagram comments and all this stuff. And, I was talking with a sports psychologist, and we both kind of were like, let's just get you off of that stuff. Like, so I don't follow any of that anymore. Like, I don't read any of the articles about our team. I a lot of times, like, I have friends like text me and say, hey, did you just see this happen? I was like, no, I didn't. Like, you want to fill me in? Like, that's, I don't look at it at all. I'm looking at Disney World and what are the best rides that my girls are going on, and what's the height requirement, which one's going to bitch the most of this or that, and that's the stuff that I'm focused on. So it's something that I just got to stay away from, the basketball side.
The Avatar ride, by the way, is the one, man. That ride is incredible.
Yeah, that is true. That's very true. Flight of Passage.
Oh, it's so good, dude. It is so good. I can't thank you enough, dude. You've been incredible. There's a couple guys in the room who are massive fans. They have some questions as well. If you have like another 2-3 minutes, is that okay?
Yeah, sure, man. Shoot.
Appreciate you.
Hey, Gordon, I'm a Hoosier as well, and growing up as a kid in Brownsburg, 5'11", your freshman year, probably you were supposed to have a moderately successful college career and then a better career selling insurance after that. That's what usually happens, but you blossomed to 6'8". God had different plans for you. Do you consider yourself an underdog story?
I kind of have always had like a chip on my shoulder.
It seems like you play that way. That's why I asked.
Yeah, I think certainly, and not to bring in like the race card or anything, but there's just not very white Americans in the NBA. And I can remember my dad. That was my dream, and I wrote down my goals And I was too little to write it, so he actually wrote it so they were legible. And I wrote them all down, and the top one was like, playing the NBA. And I can remember him saying, well, my mom's 5'10", my dad is about 5'10" as well. We don't have anybody in the family over 6'1", and so he was like, you know what, if you're gonna make it, you're probably gonna have to be like John Stockton or Steve Nash. And so like that's what I was like, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to model the game after that. And through God, I ended up growing. I still don't know exactly where that came from, but still was never, like I said, wasn't McDonald's All-American. Wasn't that highly recruited at all. I had 3 offers. We were an underdog at Butler, even though we all felt like we weren't. And then in the NBA, everyone kind of wrote me off as a rookie and all that stuff. So for sure, I think, even today, everyone is writing me off as, oh, he had this massive injury, he's not going to be the same player. And that's something that, fuels me and drives me. And so, yeah, I guess to answer your question, I do kind of have that mentality.
That's awesome.
Yeah, love it.
I am so impressed by the fact that, and it happened with me too, like spite is a motivator for me. It is, and I think even J.J. Watt, who's one of the most positive humans of all time, gave that commencement speech at Wisconsin, and he even made sure to mention, like, hey, the negative comments can be something to motivate you as well. I think a lot more people who are professional athletes are driven by haters. It's just always been like, oh, you're not supposed to read that. You're not supposed to acknowledge the fact that you see what the haters say or you hear what they say. But for me, it's a complete opposite. Like, I hear somebody say I can't do something, and it's cliche as it sounds, like that makes me want to do that more than anybody else could imagine. And it's nice to hear that I'm not the only one now that people are more talking about it, Gordon.
For sure.
Anthony DeGilio has a question. This guy, massive sports gambler. Not that should affect how you answer his question, but I'm assuming there's a chance it might be around that.
It's not a sport. I won't do that. I mean, I won't tamper with the NBA. I'm a stand-up guy.
Of course you are.
I want to know, though, like you and your teammates spend a lot of time with each other during the season. Have you ever just had the urge to grab a globe and sit down with Kyrie and show him the shape of the earth and tell him it is in fact not a flat earth?
Great question.
Oh man, I never got around to that one. We talked about a lot of things, but I never went that direction.
Something to think about. If he does
think what he wants to think.
If he does stick around, something to think about for next year.
That's insane.
Yeah, for sure.
I think he's trolling, man. He has to be trolling. That's about it. Anybody else got one?
I got one. Hey, Gordo, when was the last time you picked up a tennis racket? And could you have went pro with that 6'8" frame of yours?
I think the last time I picked up a tennis racket seriously was probably 3 years ago in Utah, in a tournament in Utah. Actually won the tournament, which was pretty cool.
Attaboy.
Congratulations, man.
It wasn't against the best competition. I think for the most part my tennis game is always overhyped. But it would have been interesting to see if I would have only played tennis, how far I could have gone. That would have been fun.
Hey, Mr. Hayward, quick question here. Do they judge you for being a gamer and an athlete?
I think initially they did when I first started in the NBA. I think everybody plays video games now, and so
Was it more like the staff of the NBA or
in that community?
Celtics?
Yeah, in that community, they love me. So I don't think I get judged for it anymore. My wife certainly judges me.
We all saw that video with you and Dr. Disrespect there.
I heard your wife yelled at you for gaming. Is that correct?
That's true. I think there's a clip of it online.
Oh, yeah.
Actually.
Jeez. You have 7 kids. You're a professional basketball player, and you find time to be an incredible gamer. You're an immaculate and a champion tennis player as well. I mean, you're an incredible human, an incredible species. I can't wait to see what you do for the Celtics next year and for the years to come. Thank you so much for joining us, man. Indiana's proud to have you, man. You're an absolute stud, and you should thank your wife for getting you to that barber. I think it's made you a much better human.
For sure. Hey, thanks for having me on. I just want to say I listen to your guys' show all the time. It's hilarious. So, keep it up.
Hey, I appreciate you, brother. I can't thank you enough. Good luck. Enjoy training. Ladies and gentlemen, although he wasn't an All-American, he's an All-American in my heart. Mm-hmm. From Brownsburg, Indiana, Boston Celtics star and face of the franchise, Gordon Hayward. Thank you, guys.
All right. See you guys.
Thank you, Gordon, so much.
You noticed that when he was talking, you asked him about the young players, and I wanted to see he wouldn't even mention like Tatum or them because nobody knows who the fuck is going to be on the Celtics next year.
Yeah, and he doesn't want to get caught up in saying like, oh, I like this guy, and then they traded away. And the NBA drama is a real thing. Oh, yeah. They would be like, oh, they traded away the only guy that Gordon Hayward likes.
He was going to want to be the leader of that team.
Hey, there's a microphone
Mike right there. He's not always here.
Go ahead, Gumpy.
I was really hoping he was going to say he wanted to be the leader of that team.
Well, I think if you say that, though, just like with everything else we're talking about with the drama of the NBA, as soon as he says that, that becomes a headline. Gordon Hayward says, now I'm the leader of the team, which kind of, but I mean, I didn't even mean to put him in a gotcha situation there, but it does feel like whenever he's answering every question, it's like everything I say I know could potentially be taken a different way. And that's good for NBA that they're that active. NBA Twitter is that active. The talking heads are that active. It's good for business, but for the players, you really got to watch your ass with everything you say.
Especially because this year, I believe, because this year's like the perfect storm. I believe I saw that 40% of the NBA is a free agent this summer. So like he has no idea who he's going to be playing.
Great business for the NBA, by the way, to have 40%. I mean, the talking heads in the conversation around the NBA never stops. I hate how dramatic it is, but that's kind of the world we live in these days. I like Gordon Hayward. He was really cool in that game.
It was awesome.
You alluded to it too. Like he didn't have a great year last year, at least by his standards.
No.
So I think he's much more focused on like, hey, I want to go out and prove that I should be that guy, as opposed to just coming out and making that blanket statement.
And he does dominate by spite, he said. So this entire offseason, he's dealing with those kids and figuring out how to get back on top. And he won't say it because he's a gentleman. He won't tell everybody to go fuck themselves. But whenever he's back on top, I'm sure there's going to be quite a moment there when he lays his head on the pillow at night. Like a lot of people wrote me off again, and here I am. Good for Gordon Hayward.
And not to beat a dead shark. But the best part about the NBA, they don't give a fuck what videos you put of their sport online.
Well, this year, too.
Oh, you're talking about the USGA.
Yeah.
This year, too, there's way more questions than answers with the Celtics. Every other year in free agency, they're a big player. This year, all they know is Kyrie and Horford are gone, and they're not, like, no big free agents.
Brad Stevens is such a good coach. There isn't a lot of people like, and I'm not saying that because I watched what he did at Butler. Yeah. I'm talking about just as a person who watches the NBA, I pay attention to the NBA Twitter. But they were winning a lot of games they weren't supposed to win in the NBA. Mm-hmm. So if you have a guy who can really coach, which they have, and a couple studs like Tatum, like Gordon Hayward, if he gets back to form, I mean, they could be a good team. And I saw it with the Pacers. The Pacers did it whenever they were taking on the Heat every single year. Yep. It's like if you get a good coach in there, Frank Vogel was a great coach, and him and Brad Stevens, I'm assuming, are friends. They seem like pretty similar individuals. So, yeah. But I think there was a quiet confidence there from Gordon Hayward about like, we don't give a single damn about anything that's happening right now. You get us on a court, we got a good coach, we got a good scheme, we can win anything.
I think for sure he's going to end up in Indiana before his career's over.
Whoa. Back with the Pacers?
Sure, man. Why not? Hometown kid, great story.
Tomlin always told me he was going to wait till I got old and cheap and bring me back to Pittsburgh. See if the Pacers do that with Gordon Hayward.
Did you go through the same thing like with injuries, like that, like mental period?
Yeah. But not for me. It wasn't during the season. It was always like in OTAs or in training camp or in preseason, because mine were always knee things, right? And when you're kicking, it's a lot of knee stuff. Mm-hmm. So I'd be like half swinging it, and the ball would be going pretty good. Like it would have kept me a job with a half swing. But if I really wanted to go, I like had to really in my head be like, all right, I'm going to really swing at this, potentially blow my knee back out again. Whenever all the doctors are like, no, your knee's good. You just got to go for it. You just got to go for it. But in the back of your mind, you're like, yeah, if I go for it, then I got to go through a surgery again. I got to do that. It really is a mental block. And people just assume because they play video games and you see other people come back from injuries. But I think all professional athletes that go through a surgery have that mental block where they're like, man, I do not want to blow this out again because there's a lot of money on the line. There's a lot of pressure on the line. There's another rehab stint that has to go through. So it is a real hurdle. I had it with my knees, which is a much smaller situation than having a blown ankle in basketball when everything revolves around jumping and running. Mm-hmm. But it is something that you really got to battle. That's why I was like so intrigued to ask him, because I didn't even think about the not even gelling with your
I don't
teammates.
think anyone did.
Didn't even think about
at all.
like, oh, you know what? Yeah, this guy hurt himself. He comes back to form. He'll be good. It was like, didn't even think about him never playing with those guys
Yeah.
before
It's a
that.
big deal.
And not necessarily any of them rooting for him to come back because
True.
he's taking playing time from
There you go.
And
everybody
money.
else.
Well,
And
you've
money.
kind
money.
of
Yeah.
you've kind of been in the other side of that coin when you had high price free agents coming to the Colts facility, and a couple of them got hurt and didn't play, and then it kind of changes the way you think about someone unless they can come back and contribute.
Unless they worked their ass off to
Right,
come back. You know, there were some people that got hurt and then it seemed like they just didn't care. So all they did was just scrape off our salary cap, make us a worse team. And it's like, well, this guy, what is this guy doing? What is this guy doing? It sounds like Gordon Hayward feels like he owes the Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
And that's a cool thing to have. I hope they do well. I'm very thankful he came on. And it was him, I think.
Yeah,
I think so.
it was.
I think 75%.
Yeah, I think
Maybe.
so.
Green text messages.
Well, apparently he does research on his phone.
I mean, he's a
Not just
techie
he's
type
not
of
some
guy.
lemming.
Right.
That's what he said. How about him just saying I'm a cult guy too? Just blindly go to Apple. Fucking take it easy, Gordon.
I mean, I would argue it's the other way. The people who are
Yes.
grandstanding that you need to get a Google Pixel or something, that's the cult right there.
Hey, sports psychologist, by the way, meeting with sports psychologists, also a pretty big thing. That happens with a lot of professional athletes. Not a lot of people are like open with it either. So I was very thankful that he said that because all professional athletes, they don't want to show a weakness, right? A weakness means they could potentially be cut. It means that they could potentially fail. It means they're not these superstars that a lot of people make them out to be. Him being like, I had to meet with a sports psychologist is really cool of him, by the way. Very humble of him to admit that.
Is that kind of like the yips? Is that what they call it? Like when you get the yips?
Yeah.
The yips is whenever you start getting like paralysis by analysis, when you start overthinking everything. The mental hurdle could be a type of yip, I guess, but more so that's with technique. Normally the yips come through a technique thing when you're overthinking, when you're like, okay.
So like him doing the alley-oop thing, that's kind of the yips essentially?
Right.
Like Lester, Lester not being able to throw to first base.
That's more of a mental hurdle. A yip is like whenever you're going to shoot. Like let's say he goes into a cold streak. So he has a coach tell him like, okay, you got to keep your elbow tight. You
Like
got to
Space Jam.
go up into a cookie jar. You got to jump at this point. You got to release at this point. So then whenever he's getting the ball, as soon as he gets the ball, all he's thinking is like, okay, I got to jump. And then at this point, I got to do this. And at this, I got to do this and this. And I get this. And you're overthinking it. And then you get to the point where you're overthinking everything. You can't do anything more. Charles Barkley's golf swing is the perfect example of that. At the beginning of Charles Barkley's golf yips, and I'm happy he's out of it, all he was trying to do was make his golf swing better. Right? So people forget that. So he became the worst golfer on earth. But how that started was him asking somebody, how do I make this better? Them giving him things. And then all of a sudden it all just kind of, you start thinking about them all. And then it all just becomes a mental fuckery in there.
The four dons.
That's a yip.
Yep.
A mental hurdle is something that when you come out of an injury. A yip is more like whenever you're overthinking everything and it's just kind of becoming a debauched situation.
And I think it's exaggerated in his case because I think his strength is his mental toughness or was his mental toughness. You know what I
'Cause
mean?
it was
That's what
spite.
separated him
Yeah.
from everybody else. He outworked you. He came at you hard. And when you have that little bit of doubt, it's different than like if you're Durant and you're just a better athlete than everybody else on the floor.
Yeah, or Brom.
Yeah.
Well, and it makes sense too. Like if you've never had any type of injury before, and then you have like basically the worst possible one a basketball player can suffer. Like I mean, it makes sense that you would need someone to like kind of work
Because
through that.
You really think, and I asked in my question, I said it, I was like, you think like, oh no, that can happen to me. So like you kind of have this invincible feel, and then you're like, oh no, I just learned that can happen to me. That could be something that's tough, especially as a tennis player. Ankles for tennis players are a pretty important thing. I mean, you're literally running, sliding, the whole thing. So he probably had this feeling where his base, his core, everything was just locked in. Absolutely. And then once you realize like, oh shit, it can go wrong, that can become something you get. I can't wait to see him. It sounds like he said he's over it, which is awesome for him, awesome for the Celtics, awesome for his future. I'm excited to watch him next year. And friend of the show, fan of the show, handsome Gordon Hayward. That was awesome. I'm going to sleep soundly tonight knowing that Gordon Hayward's a good guy.
Yep.
Because really, there's a lot of rumors going around about him right now on the internet that I didn't like. But tonight when I lay my head down on my Lisa mattress, I am going to sleep so damn nice. Right now, you go to leesa.com/McAfee. You get $100 off and 2 free pillows.
Wow.
And you're not just getting $100 off some slapdick bed. It's the greatest bed you've ever laid your head on. Plus 2 free pillows that are going to be so comfortable it feels like you're sleeping on them clods. Wow. Lisa did all the research that you need to do to make sure you're getting the best bed possible. And it's convenient because Lisa ships the bed right to your front doorstep in a box. Pat, I don't want my bed showing up in a box. It's probably not comfortable. Wrong-o, my friend. It's the most comfortable bed you'll ever sleep on. The convenience also is incredible. It's immaculate. No more going to nasty, disgusting mattress stores, laying around in a bunch of Zito sweat, trying to figure out what bed is good. Lisa did all the research for you. The bed is incredible, and it arrives at your doorstep. And unboxing it is half the fun. How long does it take, Ty?
About 2 minutes.
Just put that box right in there in your bedroom, take that thing out, cut off the little plastic thingy, and it blows up and expands into the best bed you've ever had. $100 off plus 2 free pillows from your friends at Lisa. Lisa.com/McAfee to get that deal. Lisa also changing the world for better. Donated 100 beds with them a couple months ago to the Coburn Place, which is a sanctuary for survivors of domestic and interpersonal violence. So Lisa not only providing incredible sleep, an incredible deal, incredible convenience, but also making the world a better place. And that's the type of company you want to do business with. Speaking of making the world a better place, that dude that was practicing bunting and broke his nose, what the fuck happened?
Scherzer?
Yeah.
One idiot.
That's what happens when you're acting like an asshole when you're doing it.
Yeah, you got all
Seriously.
lackadaisical,
Yeah, exactly.
showing off. Hey, look at this. I'm going to slap
I mean,
this.
guy's fucking 40 feet away. He's still throwing probably 70 miles an hour. Like, you still got to bunt it.
Scherzer,
right?
just because you got a Cy Young doesn't mean you can't lay down bunt. Come on.
So what happened here? So that guy was just so lackadaisical because I've taken BP
Right.
in a professional baseball game. I've been in the batter's box. I understand that it's no game whenever you're staring down the end of a barrel, which happens to be from a human's arm. Okay, BP was technically my only time to ever practice batting, so
Right.
I was taking it very serious. But that's normally just a fuck around session there. For
No,
the-
so he's a pitcher. So, and he plays in the National League, so he has to bat, but he's typically just sack bunting. He's just laying bunts down.
Also, normally when you take BP, normally your first 2 to 4 pitches are always bunts.
Bingo.
I didn't do that. Anybody give me a heads up.
Well, you were swinging for the fence.
But a lot of
I mean,
people would realize you practice
Outfield.
how you play, and they try to actually bunt how they would bunt on a live
And
batting situation. He literally just threw
Scherzer's
it out
normally
there
like a very,
brr.
very serious dude too, so it was surprising to see.
Well, I liked that he was having a little fun then, and there with the boys having
he
a
broke
good,
his nose.
broke his snot. So it's going to be tough to do. I can't believe in 2019, after all these years, with the success of designated hitters, that the American League and National League haven't come together and just been like, "Yep, we're doing designated hitter thing." I mean, Big Poppy is literally the hero of the city.
It's the selling point for the National League. They try and say that you have to be a better manager because there's more double switches and such in the National League, and they don't want to give that up.
I
It's
no
the-
idea what that means. Couldn't even guess what that means, and I'm a professional baseball player. But I think the game would be better, right? And by the way, I think the designated hitter should be allowed to take whatever steroid they want. The designated hitter should be,
I don't hate that.
The designated roid guy.
yeah, whatever he wants. I think he should be allowed to take whatever he wants. If you need Mark McGuire, Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa, Roger Clemens, even.
Yeah.
Just redo the 90s then.
For designated hitter, put them on every single team. This alongside being able to gamble at the stadium on an app for every single pitch makes baseball the #1 sport in America again. Let's wait until the donkey gets up here. It's a fucking donkey show. Oh, who's the designated hitter on the team? The guy that's 350 pounds with a six-pack. And whenever he gets up to bat, it's going to be a show. I think that would make baseball absolutely incredible. Pitchers aren't allowed to bean them. Is it bean or beam?
Bean.
I've heard
Either
both
way.
ways.
Hated it.
Or
Down the pipe.
plunk.
Plunk. They have to pitch to him. Like, I think that should be a rule. You can't just walk the steroid freak that's about to bomb some balls.
freak's up.
Yeah, exactly. I think that would make baseball awesome. I can't believe this Scherzer guy even has the chance to break his nose. I know nothing about baseball, but I know the only reason he's there is just to throw the fucking ball. So what are we even doing? I can respect the history of the game, but I also would like to be entertained a little bit.
Very well said.
Thank you.
Very well said.
I mean, I'm a professional baseball player. I think what I say should be taken a little bit more serious than it ever has been. I wore metal studs in an AstroTurf field. I pretty much know exactly what I'm talking
They look
about.
good, though. They look
They did look great.
They did. I was a cocaine
Well, and
whites.
we also didn't know what kind of surface you were going to be playing on.
Yeah, we had no
expected
idea. Brett Favre came out and said he was going to return and deleted his tweet, but that's already out there, Brett. Don't know how to get that one back. Can't wait to talk to him next week in the Bahamas to ask him what the fuck happened here.
He said he got hacked.
You think you learned his lesson?
He said he got hacked?
Today
Yeah.
came out today, he said he got hacked.
So you hacked Brett Favre And I guess that would be the first thing you would think is like, he's coming out of retirement.
Yeah.
We know the other thing.
We don't need to talk about that.
No, we don't. We don't.
Past that.
I'm happy that the hacker had a little compassion and just made fun of the retirement thing. And also, I bet you Brett Favre still come out and sling it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You see him in the Wrangler commercials?
Absolutely. In muddy conditions, by the way. In very muddy conditions, he's throwing it to terrible receivers.
He's got copper fit on his side, so.
And copper fit on his wrist, his elbow, and his knees. I've seen him at CVS in the as seen on TV.
He has
thing.
been working out with Jerry Rice. I mean, you saw that.
I saw the AAFL too. Brett Favre is all pro in that AAFL day one. Those quarterbacks were garbage in there. I would assume he could come play in the XFL, and I'd assume he could be a backup in the NFL if he wanted to be. He's just choosing not to. So I got excited when that tweet came. I'm like, hey, Favre, the NFL could use you, bub.
For sure.
We get a chance to talk to him next week. We'll chat about that. It's come out that President Trump hates coughing and sneezing. This is one of my favorite things any human's ever said. As a person who sneezes and enjoys sneezing, by the way, I enjoy a good sneeze. I enjoy a good cough to clear the throat. Yeah. I watched that video of him and Popolopoulos. Mm-hmm. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Close enough. Yeah.
You get it.
Papa Doc.
Him.
Populus.
What was that?
Populus.
That's the second half of his name, I think.
Yeah.
Had a pop in front of that.
Populus.
I watched a video of him interviewing him in the Oval Office and his chief of staff coughing in the background in an attempt to discourage Trump from continuing to talk, and Trump potentially kicking him out of the office, almost firing him immediately. One of my favorite moves in the history of anything. I enjoy it.
It's just hilarious.
If you view him as a character, I understand there's a lot going on, a lot of power there.
Great heel.
The best heel of all time. It has come out from people that have worked around him that he actually says that coughing and sneezing are a sign of weakness and do not even think about doing them around him. Is he saying he's never coughed or sneezed before? If that's the case...
It's like the Jim Kong farting.
Exactly. This dude is a superhuman if he's never coughed or sneezed before. I don't know how you stop yourself from sneezing. I have no idea how that happens, but I would love to be in the room when somebody accidentally did it and Trump just losing his mind. That cough moment, he was in the middle of a real answer. It was like a minute and a half into the real answer. Somebody from his team coughs, and he's still talking, and it's like when somebody's eating into an apple around me. You see it like in his head, like you just want to stop and snap somebody's neck. And he has, we're gonna redo that. In my fucking backswing. It's basically what Trump said. That's incredible. I've never heard of anybody hating this. I've never heard of anybody in the history believing that sneezing and coughing are a sign of weakness. And I might start viewing it that way. It might be a new office procedure.
Coffee and sneeze has gone down like 20%.
Not good for me. Big cougher.
Yeah, I think me too. I don't know how you
goddamn allergies leaking down my nose into my throat all goddamn day.
How do you stop yourself from sneezing?
You can stop a sneeze occasionally if you put your finger in front of your nose. That sometimes works.
Or
but still, you're just eating it really, and it's going to come back.
Well, when you hold a sneeze in too, I had a coach in college. He had an aneurysm because he held a sneeze and almost died.
That's a real story.
That's a real story. I don't know how. For me, it's just hilarious to think. Watch that video of him just looking at the guy.
Get out if you're going to sneeze, okay?
He literally said, in my backswing, basically, when it was referring to policies. I think it was his financial statement. He was talking, and he just stopped and looked at it. It's his guy, too. It's like it would be like Foxy. It would be me giving an answer, and Foxy just grabbing an apple and just chewing it in my ear, and me just stopping and looking at him. Foxy, get the fuck out of here. You want to redo that entire answer because this guy trying to get some vitamins here right in the middle of this fucking thing. It was awesome.
The mechanism in my brain where you think about something before you say it is dead today. So you just like
Today.
say it. You just say it and then you think about
Try
what
to
you
figure
said.
it out
Yeah.
after. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Like a word problem. My life is one big word problem.
Still going.
Are you ever going to get the answer?
I don't know. Every fucking day, there's 2 ducks on this side. There's 1 wolf on this side of the river. What are you going to do today, Tony?
Stay away from the wolf.
It's different. It's difficult. You got to get them all on the same side.
Are you
without
fucking giving life advice?
Yeah. That was an easy one right there.
Stay away from the wolf.
Oh, can we ask Cito that question? The real version of that question?
Yeah,
Go on.
stay away from the wolf.
I don't think I know what you're
Is
talking
this a
about.
logic
I don't.
question?
Yeah, I got to
Okay.
find it. I got to remember the exact
Can I
word.
write
I like
notes?
these a lot.
Can I write notes?
Me
for that,
too.
by the way.
I feel like I'm probably pretty good. At
Just
these
to
ones.
preface it before he finds it's something like you have a wolf and 2 ducks. The wolf will eat the ducks. You got to get them all to this side. You have 1 boat.
Oh, it's like you have the fucking 4 light switches outside thing. How do you turn on all the lights inside without that whole type of thing?
Yep.
I don't like these types of questions.
All right, we'll scratch it.
No. I would like to hear it, but I don't do well at these. I don't do well at these.
Okay, you ready, Zeke?
Yeah, can I write stuff down or no?
Yeah.
Sure,
Please say you're.
It's encouraged.
You are encouraged to take
Maybe
notes.
even draw a picture because that'll help too.
I actually just drew a river.
Yep, smart.
Good. That's a good start.
Jose Perez using a pen, not planning on making any mistakes. Go ahead.
It's confidence.
A farmer wants to cross a river and take with him a wolf, a goat, and a cabbage. There is a boat that can fit himself plus either the wolf, the goat, or the cabbage. If the wolf and the goat are alone on one shore, the wolf will eat the goat. If the goat and the cabbage are alone on the shore, the goat will eat the cabbage. How can the farmer bring the wolf, the goat, and the cabbage across the river?
The farmer eats a cabbage, puts the wolf across, and comes back for the goat and brings the goat back.
And then he shits out the cabbage on the other side.
Yep, got it.
Final answer.
Suck it.
I'm with you, Zito.
Nailed it.
I mean, the logic is airtight. I can't argue with that.
Thank you.
Yeah, we know. Hey, good for us. Look at us.
I got one of those.
All right.
It's real quick. If you know it, don't say the answer. But a boy and his father are going up a winding road in the mountains.
What mountain?
Winding road, not important. Winding road in the mountains. And boom, the truck that they're in goes over the cliff. Do, 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 do.
Okay.
The father is dead. His son barely hanging on to life.
Jesus.
Helicopter comes in. I know. It's just a logic question.
Yep. No.
It's a very negative.
Helicopter comes in, airlifts the boy to the hospital, to the surgery room. They get in there. The doctor is all scrubbed up, ready to go, and he goes, "I can't." The doctor's like, "I can't operate on this boy. It's my son."
The mother is the doctor.
I just said, Tony, don't say a fucking word if you know it.
I don't know it. What do you mean?
I had it on my paper, mother.
It's just easy.
You didn't know that, by the way. That's horseshit. I'm calling bullshit on that.
Oh, Gorman, just because we're not all just ridiculously sexist.
Unbelievable that you would assume that.
I mean, there are women doctors.
I understand that, but that old...
Do you?
I do. I understand it. Hell, yes, I do.
Hell, I wouldn't. I wouldn't let one operate on me, but I understand that.
It's not true at all. It's not true at all.
You didn't deserve that, Gorms. I mean, you got buried there.
You guys don't remember this, but I had spinal cord surgery. I mean,
No, I remember.
clinging
Fused.
to life. I mean, clinging to life. Surgeon? Woman.
Wow.
Look at that. Right here.
Look at you.
Made it, too.
Yeah, can't golf.
Nah, but still. I can still do logic questions, though.
Gorman, I have a question for you.
Sir.
Favorite place you've ever visited in your entire life?
Well, Tony mentioned something earlier. I had a chance a couple of years ago to Jackson Hole, Wyoming. It was paradise up there.
That's where all like the super wealthy people live, right?
Yeah, that's awful beautiful. And not even a close second, I'm going to go 1A, 1B. It would be Mont Hutt, New Zealand.
Just real quick. You said not even a close second, 1A, 1B.
No. I mean, a close second. I'm sorry. There's 1A, 1B. I love Jackson Hole, just everything. When I visited that time of year, I don't want to go there in the winter, all that. But Mont Hutt, New Zealand was absolute paradise.
New Zealand is like Australia, just closer,
Yeah.
right?
And smaller of an island.
Yep.
What's your favorite place?
I don't know. That's what I was in my head. I was trying to figure that out while you were doing the mountain description thing.
Right.
In my head, I was like, I haven't been really on a mountain in a long time. And I started thinking like beautiful places I've been. I don't know. I like beaches a lot. I like just staring
Yeah.
at the ocean mindlessly. That St. Croix place I went to.
Nice.
I was on one of them. I was on one of them things out in the water.
Yep.
Like,
Oh, and the underwater is like
Bungalow.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
and that's
the floor is
Yeah.
glass. Sam and I went and did that. That was incredible.
It's always weird to me that you like the beach, but you don't like the water. You just like looking at it and,
Just like
and,
looking
and
at it.
thinking.
I'm the same way. I can't swim worth a shit.
Really?
Like to go and tan though.
But you work on
coach.
ships, dude.
You work on ships.
So if you
What
fall
if you fall in?
You live on an island.
It's a dry dock, man.
why he loves
Trying to
this
get off the island.
What if
It's impossible. America's never going to let you do that. But
Are you a big sand guy?
you're on the island, you're off the island?
I don't fucks with the sand much either. I mean, I'll just stare at it. I think that's why I like the thing so much because
Yeah,
I was like
'cause-
out in the water. By the way, I can swim now again. Remember, I was.
Yeah, yeah.
No, you
talking
haven't
on the
yet,
thing.
though, right?
No, I haven't tested it. Just because that's
it's like coming back from an injury.
exactly a little mental hurdle, like we talked to a little buddy there earlier. Because that doctor hadn't had to go through what I've had to
Correct.
go through whenever my water's in my ear for fucking 2 weeks and I can't sleep. But I think a beach is cool. I didn't mind. Morocco was awesome. Mostly because like you appreciate America so much when you're there. You're like, you know what? I fucking love America. That made me feel pretty good.
You should next time you go on a vacation. We went there for one of our presidents' clubs, a nice little island, St. Kitts and Nevis.
Oh.
We stayed at obviously we weren't paying the Fairmont there or whatever. Beautiful. Check it out.
I don't know. Is that in the Caribbean?
Yes.
They're all kind of the same to me in the Caribbean. It's all kind of the same to me. But it's a beautiful view down there.
I like a powdery sand beach, but I don't like one time I went to Sanibel in Florida, and it's like just broken shells.
Well, that's the worst.
And I'm like, this is
Oh,
the
man.
fucking worst beach I've ever seen
And
in
in
my
the
life.
pictures, dude, they don't tell you that. No, yeah. That's
walking on
bullshit.
glass.
That is bullshit.
Has
Isn't it?
anyone ever in here got hit by jellyfish ever?
No, and you had to
No.
pee on yourself, right?
I've
you?
never done it. No, I've always been scared.
You were on a cruise ship. You're probably in a lot of places.
Yeah.
What's your
well,
favorite?
actually, just Virgin Islands, but
Oh, you just went through the Virgin Islands.
Every time.
Is
Yeah.
America's the best or is British?
America.
Are you? That sounded like that wasn't. A real
Was it the U.S. Virgin Islands or the British Virgin Islands?
The American Virgin Islands.
Okay.
U.S. Virgin Islands.
the
Yeah,
American
it's,
version of the Virgin Islands
Yes. St. Martin,
to a degree?
Jamaica, basically, I think is on there.
I don't think Jamaica's a U.S.
That was like
version.
one of the islands we went to, though. It was
Oh,
Jamaica, St. Martin.
Did you go the
Dominican.
and then the
Puerto
Carnival Personal Island?
Yeah.
That Carnival
Nassau.
personal is such a fucking hustle, man. So you can only get drinks from this one place, $14.50 a pop. Yep, and it's
Yikes.
going directly to Carnival.
Yep. They bought an island strictly to do that.
Strictly to it, not a bad play.
Gorms, where's the best Club Med you've ever been to?
Now we're talking.
Club Med. CLUBMED.
Probably
Space, you fucking.
Columbus Isle in the Bahamas.
Oh.
Yeah. Because it was scuba centered, so I was all over.
Oh yeah, I want to get into
Yeah.
that. By the way,
Yeah, it was really cool.
I want to get into the scuba diving strictly because of the Instagram videos that I see of people just swimming next to these.
Epic.
Yes.
Closest thing you get
You
to being an
definitely-
astronaut, man.
You definitely need to check out
awesome.
your ears for that.
Yeah, you gotta.
It's like being in space.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've heard it's incredible. Michael Cole, announcer for the WWE, is a certified scuba guy. He plans all of his trips, not that he ever gets any, but they're strictly around scuba. And I guess people really fall in love with it. Like it's their thing.
Remember the name Jerry Garcia?
Yeah.
Lead singer of the Dead?
Oh,
Yeah.
Who is, by the way, dead?
Oh, come on.
Wow.
He said, "Hey, man," and he kind of talked like this, man. And he went, "Hey, man, I've done a lot of drugs in my life and taken a lot of trips, but nothing like scuba diving."
Why is that? It's just a cool thing. You're in an aquarium.
Weightless. You got everything around you. Yeah, it's just awesome.
You had headaches though, right?
No.
It's dangerous, too, right? With
Well,
all the
you
go
portion
too
of-
deep.
If you
Your
come up,
ears.
yeah, you get the bends too. If you come up
Yeah.
too
If you go
quick.
too deep.
It's all controlled breathing,
You
too.
get air, and you get
got-
air bubbles in your
Yeah,
blood.
compression, right?
You can't be.
Guys,
Has anybody in here scuba dived other than Gorman?
Todd.
I was on
We're
a,
allowed-
No,
Bucks.
but we've watched enough scuba movies.
I was on a scuba team.
No, but I'm saying Todd wasn't answering the questions. Diggs,
He was
Zeno,
trying to.
everybody else was answering these questions that I really had.
50 meters
People
deep.
that have never scuba dived in their
I was just
entire life.
enjoying the answers. Some right, some wrong.
I don't.
I was about to the point like, hey, is everybody in here a fucking scuba professional?
Hey, but I was in the Caribbean, and to Todd's, I mean, defense on this, but it's like, oh, look at the shark. Look at the swimming starfish. Hey, look at that turtle. Oh, the coral reef. It's beautiful. But your scuba was a little bit different.
Just
I mean,
dead bodies.
Dirty water, yeah.
swamps and lakes.
The White River.
Yeah, looking for dead bodies.
Stone quarries.
Right.
But what's cool, I'm dying, if we ever go, I want to go as well. I'm dying to go in the ocean where I can see
Yes.
for a long way. But what's even cool about Indiana water and water around here is it's got to be amplified by 1,000 when you're in the ocean. But you just know I'm in an environment I'm not supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like this world down here, I am not supposed to be able to do this, but I am. So you're just seeing all that shit for the first time. It's fucking
If I had a
cool.
recommendation for your first scuba, go to a place where it's an underwater cave. So you got to scuba to get under the cave, but when you get up into the cave, you just take your scuba gear off and walk around,
Like Point
see all
Break.
the stalagmites
Fresh
and
air.
stuff like
Is
that.
this a documentary you watched?
No, it's just
Point Break.
It just happens.
Yeah. And those coral reefs, you have
Diggs, you have never scuba dived before.
No, but I've seen a lot of them on the cruise ship.
That was a
excursion list.
classic situation in Baywatch.
This guy, Diggs has answered 4 questions about scuba diving, and now he's giving recommendations.
The
I will say,
Gilios-
I've been in the same boat there.
The Gilios
Live
always
excursions I've
picked.
seen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You were the other guy answering the questions that I was referring to earlier. That's never scuba diving.
But I used to sell those excursions.
Yeah.
Oh, so
So I know the questions they asked me.
osmosis.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
The Gilios always picked the booze cruise catamaran over over the Scuba. But I read it. Always read the brochure.
Nobody ever picks with a scuba diving brochure.
No.
It's a big commitment because you
don't
probably
do-
have to get recertified, right?
Yeah, I definitely would.
Yeah.
How long
Well,
does that take? They just
actually,
drop you in a
Patty.
hotel pool, right?
Technically, you don't because I was advanced open
Yeah, that's
water,
true.
so it lasts for life. But I wouldn't feel comfortable.
But I would
doing it
again,
without
like a guy
pressure.
like slapdick like me going out there, not like a professional like you. I'd have to get Patty certified again, which is, by the way, tough because they're going to force you to 20 foot underwater. You got to take all your
Yeah.
gear off and put it back on.
My
which-
brother did it. He had to go out in the lake and do it.
Yeah, take the thing out. You know,
I can hold my breath pretty good. I got good lung capacity, so I feel pretty good about that. I just don't. I don't think I'd like the pressure that it's probably going to put on my head.
you just gotta. You have to clear.
You know what you want to do first?
While you're descending,
You
have
want to
keep-
go train in a pool for a little bit first and practice on buoyancy control because that's when you really like it will improve your diving experience. The better off you are establishing neutral buoyancy, and that's so you have like a little air thing on your vest, right? And you just hit it when you want air to inflate, and you can. There's a valve for letting that out. So you get it to a point where you just float without moving up or down, right? So then you can control yourself. So then you can get
I
like
didn't even think about it. I sink like a fucking
Yeah.
You're
rock.
wearing a weight belt. They'll put a weight belt on
Yeah,
you
there's a
too.
lot-
I don't need one. I go right to the bottom. I mean, that fucking swim class we had in high school was a nightmare. There's people that could float and stuff like that. Not me. I go right down, and I think that would
Yeah.
ruin my experience. Of it.
Well, you just want to get good at it because then you can get like where you hover like a foot above the ground without crashing into it and disturbing shit. You just have a better time. You know what I mean?
How are these people on the internet? They just swim right up to sharks, by the way, and they pet them. They're like petting them and stuff like
Those
that.
are whale sharks.
Yeah, very docile creatures.
No teeth. They'll just gum you.
Who was the first person to scuba dive? Like, how brave was that guy?
Great question.
Jacques Cousteau.
Is that real?
No.
Famous explorer.
I used to
Jacques
know this
Cousteau.
actually.
Like that guy was so brave to go under there with just that fucking mask thing.
Yeah, well, Michael Cole told me that there's like checks on top of checks. Like you have numerous things for air if it was because that's the first thing I told him. I was like, so you just relying on one little thing. That's all it's like when you went skydiving. I was just banking on that guy making minimum wage who packed that backpack for me to do it right. And they're like, yeah. But there's also an emergency thing that comes flying out. And whenever we went out, as we were boarding the plane, the group in front of us, one of the people had to use the emergency chute.
Oh,
Freaked me out. I'm like, what are we doing here? And you see all the instructors like they go looking up, right? Like they're excited something's happening. It isn't just the boring standard float around. Like, oh, emergency chute was used. And I'm like, well, is this happening regularly? No. And my dad goes, well, it ain't gonna happen again. Fuck it. And my dad,
Oh, your dad went with you?
yeah, he like forced us into the fucking. I'm like, I just don't know if I like this. Tim McAfee first one off the plane.
Obviously.
So I'm off the
By himself?
I'm in the back. No, he had a guy on his back. I'm in the back of the plane. You're kind of tucked in there like sardines. In Tim McAfee's front right side, I'm back left side. So you all the way up, and it's a miserable plane. I mean, it's a fucking miserable plane. And then a green light goes off, and then they just pull back the side of the plane. And you're like, holy shit! And you're like, you were at 13,500 feet. And then I just look up and I see my dad is it's gone. There's no words. It was just my dad's gone. And I'm like, oh, he's dead for sure. And then everybody else, Phil went, a couple other people went, boom, boom, boom. And they do all this practice on the ground. They have you up in like this, it's like a, what's those things that people use, like a treehouse? You're in like a fake little treehouse thing where they have you sit up there and they're like, this is what you're going to do. You're going to put your feet over the edge of the plane and you're going to tuck your feet back. And the guy behind you is going to rock you 1, 2, and then on the third time, you're both going to commit to going out, and then you tuck your feet up and your hands up, and that'll bounce you out, and then you fall for like 45 seconds to a minute, and then he'll give you a tap, and then he'll pull the thing. I'm like, okay, sounds good. And whenever we checked in, the weight limit was a stern 225. Stern 225 weight limit. And I get there, and it's for one of my dad's birthdays. I think it was his 50th or 40th birthday. I took him up there, and we get there, and we're reading the rules, and we're checking in, and we decided to do it literally the night before. So I didn't sleep at all. I had not a single moment of sleep. I'm like, this is a bad idea. My dad's always wanted to do it, but I mean, this is fucking. What if I kill my dad on his birthday? So we get there, we go do the check-in. They have these list of rules, like 225 is the max you can go, and I'm like, okay, good. I'm 230, so like, you guys can go. I'm just gonna hang out here. And this little fucking tiny guy, little old guy, goes, get on the scale. And I'm like, I was already on it, bud, 230. Like, your fucking rules, it's not my fault. And I stand on the scale. He grabs my hand, and he lifts my hand up until it says 224.9, and he goes, we'll go together, and then walks away. And I was like, no. Like, there's a rule for a reason there. And everybody's like, all right, here we go, into this room now. We got to learn about what we're going to do. So I'm like, who's we? Like, I am too heavy. They're like, no, you're going to fly with that guy. I'm like, ugh. I hate that guy, and now I got him strapped to my fucking back. So you go into this room, and they show you this video, and it's this guy with this long ponytail, and he said death or die probably 10 times in the first 90 seconds, and everybody in our group just turned it. We're like, all right, I don't want to listen to this fucking guy for real. And they're like, you have to watch. Like, it's legally, you have to watch. I'm like, oh, is that right? Because the legal out there is 225 pounds. I didn't know we were so strict with rules these days. So I'm watching the video, death, die, death, die, death, sign, you got it. We fucking sign it. So then they take us out to this treehouse thing, and they do the sit down. You had to get past this little course on how you're supposed to exit the plane, and then you go into the lobby and wait till it's your turn, and they get you all suited and booted. We walk out there. As we're walking out to the plane, that emergency chute comes down, so everything is going wrong in my eyes. I'm like I'm a guy that likes to I trust fortune cookies. Right? I trust fortune cookies.
Absolutely.
I trust signs from the universe. Every sign here was stating that I shouldn't do this, but you know what? Fuck it. My dad turned 50. Good for him. So we get on the plane. We go all the way up there or whatever. My dad just gets dumped off the plane. See you, Dad. Happy birthday. You're never going to see another fucking moment of breath again. So then it gets all the way up to I see my friends doing the rocking and going out. Phil does. I think Phil and the guy got into it a little bit because the rocking wasn't timed. Like, he was going forward, the guy was going back. So it was like a little moment. And I started laughing. I'm like, of course, Phil with this guy has to get into it. And then they go, and then I'm the last one on the plane, just me and the little guy that fucking did the thing, right? And he goes in my ear. He's like, are you ready, buddy? I'm like, no, man, we can just shut this. Like, they're already there. Like, there's nothing they can do. And he's like, no, you're going to love it. And he's like scooting me, this little guy. He's like a little tiny guy. He's like scooting me with his hips, like pushing me up to the window. And I like go to get ready to do the little treehouse thing. And he just dumps me out of the plane. Literally, my ass was still in the plane. Like, my head almost hit the side of it. And there's a video. I'm going straight down to earth for like the first 10 seconds, and then we flatten out, right? And as soon as I flatten out, my glasses almost get shot off my face, right? So I'm just like sitting there, and then finally I'm just staring at the earth, and I'm flying. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. This is a pretty awesome little thing. This is like a bird. And then you're watching Earth just get bigger and bigger. And I had the moment where I was like, I think I could die here. Like, you know, like it was a free, like it was really free feeling. And then the guy, he's like, he's screaming at me. He's like, how's it going? And I'm like, it's good, you know, and there's a camera person in front of my face, but they didn't catch up till late because we were fucking nose diving for the first 10 seconds or whatever. Probably a couple thousand feet were falling. So that person comes, I wave to my mom because she didn't go there. And then he gives me the tap for the time to pull the chute. And in my head, it was like, oh, this is the weight limit time. Like, this is why the weight limit happens for the chute and for the harness that is currently wrapped through my legs. So he gives me the tap. He's like, you ready? And I was like, no, this is the moment of truth here. So I held on to the jacket, like the backpack, as hard as possible. I'm like, if this chute breaks or the harness breaks, I'm gonna hang on to this backpack as much as I can. He pulls that thing, and I have never had a moment in my life inside where I thought I was gonna die within the next second, just waiting for that parachute to potentially catch me. And then all of a sudden, it felt like somebody pulled like the ripcord on like a yo-yo, and my grundle just got sucked up into the air. It was like, whoa! And the guy's like, all right, we made it. I was like, whoa, were you worried? He was like, you're a heavy guy. I'm like, oh my God. So then we just start floating around, you know, and my balls are all the way inside of my kidneys. And he's like, here, take the little toggle thing. So I'm like kind of steering us around. It's a pretty cool thing. And you're doing that for like 15 minutes. But after 4 minutes, you're about bored with it. You're like, all right, let me get down on the ground. And as we're going down, I was like, oh, by the way, like I'm a professional punter, so like if we could not break my legs on a landing, that would be incredible. He's like, you should have told me after. Now I'm nervous. I was like, really? He was like, you just lift those legs up, and we did a butt land.
Yeah.
I've never been that flexible in my life. I had my legs probably up by my fucking face. Yeah, I was doing a full V-sit, and we just came sliding into my ass. But it was a really, really awesome experience.
Is there awkward conversation the whole way down though? Like, what's that conversation?
No,
like?
you're just looking around. It's like it's a cool moment. I mean, he told me the guy was funny, man. He was very funny. I was like, were you worried about the weight? He was like, no, it's a combined weight. He's like, I'm so small. Just because you're 5 pounds over, it's not that big of a deal. He was like, I could have told you that earlier, but he basically gave me like, this one's for me. You know what I mean? He gave me like, this one's for me. And you're kind of like floating around and looking around. We had a funny conversation. Yeah. He was like, never do a double date, by the way, ever doing this. And I was like, why? He was like, would you want a slick guy strapped to your girl's back who's literally about to save her life, which is what I'm about to do, what I did to you here? And I was like, no, that's hilarious. He was a funny guy. And we got down there and landed, and they were like, all right, when do you want to do the next one? And I was like, next one? This is what we like to call a bucket list check mark. Yeah. And I am never getting in that fucking plane again. And it was a cool experience. I have it on tape. I haven't watched it in years, but I would.
The full thing?
Yeah, like whenever they finally catch up to me. I mean, I'm telling you, the guy just dumped me out of like I was trash right out of that thing, like straight down.
How talented are those camera guys, though? You know, like they have to catch up to you and try to get like that shot.
It was a woman.
Wow.
Camera guy, woman.
Jesus.
Yikes,
Guyman.
No,
I mean, it's like it's 1940.
Unbelievable.
Women
Call the camera woman.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's a universal
Camera
like,
person.
camera operator, dude.
Oh, cam op.
Way to go.
Thank you.
We interrupt this intriguing conversation about God knows what for a reading from Zito. Before we get started, Zito,
Yep.
I found out you were in the 40% of millennials.
What does that mean?
40% of millennials say they do not use deodorant.
Oh yeah, that's Zito.
It's absolutely
No,
disgusting.
I'm back on it.
Sure you are. Just a reading from Zito.
According to studies, just over.
If you're listening out there, use deodorant,
Yeah,
by the way. It's not
please.
about you.
yeah,
come on,
it's about
It's
everyone
bigger
else.
than you.
Yeah, millennials. All right. According to studies, just over.
Like, I don't even know how that has become a thing. We've made fun of humans that have not used deodorant for a long time.
Are you guys the gel ones or the white one?
I'm the white one, but it's,
Oh, really?
Yeah. Gel ones make me. I don't like the wet, sticky feeling.
Well, I go
I don't
the,
either.
the
You
have
gel,
to dry it
the
out?
gel stick. That's nice in between. Yeah. So not the gel that you twist and it pops up.
Oh,
gel.
fuck that one.
Mine's blue. It's not white,
There it
but
is.
it's a
Same.
stick.
Yeah,
It's
the gel.
not
Yeah,
like a
that.
wet
Do you
gel.
fan Don? Do you fan it?
No.
No.
Oh, you guys are doing it wrong.
we
You've never
all
done it.
are pretty sure you've never put
We
on
are
deodorant.
using it.
I'm a user.
We are rubbing it on our armpits.
I'm a big user.
every day.
Yeah, you are.
Fucking.
$4 for 2 sticks of deodorant.
Yeah, millennials, Foxy.
It's not hard to do.
Whoa.
Foxy's not using it
I'm
for
in the
sure.
60% there.
I'm in the 42%. No,
I don't like these
yes, you
studies,
are.
by the way. I don't like these studies. You go to some hipster
They didn't ask
paradise
me.
and just ask the people outside of it. Like, yeah, 4 out of 10 said they don't. It's like, well, 4 out of 10 people also are fucking worst humans on earth.
True.
You know what I mean?
You ever see the people use the rock? They claim it works. Like,
Excuse me, what?
We had a guy in my police academy that used this rock, and he claimed that it was from Finland or something.
Oh,
that
maybe.
you don't have
Might
to use
then.
deodorant if you use this rock. And I'm like, well, everybody's complaining.
If you would've
because
said
smell
Ireland.
like shit.
If you would have said
the
Ireland
rock is working.
because of Irish Spring, I would have believed you, but not Finland.
But no,
it's
this
not
is just,
Finnish Spring.
Just a rock.
I would like you to know that the rock might work, but
Not on you.
not for you. Let's go, Zito. Are you going to read or?
Yeah, it's on me. A recent Gallup survey shows
Gout?
Gallup.
I thought you said gout survey.
Earlier today, you said rent, supposedly. You definitely said run to me, though.
What do you mean?
It's on me. It's
Yep. A recent Gallup survey shows Americans worry more about burglary than almost any other crime. More than mugging, more than terrorism, more than car theft and murder. There was no, that's
There was
on
no
me.
question marks.
Yeah, it was just periods. And what's crazy is
oh,
that
so we're not going back. We're past that.
all right, I'll do another line.
No.
There are over 2 million burglaries reported every year. That's one every 13 seconds.
Oh,
yeah.
Hold on, let's pause for 13 seconds.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And what's crazy is the only.
Those were the fastest.
Pretty quick.
That was probably like 6 seconds there, 7 seconds.
That's why I'm like really fast.
Fast burglary.
Quick feet, quick count.
Yep.
You just raised the crime rate.
There's now 4 million burglaries a year.
Smash and grab.
And what's crazy is the only 1 in 5 homes have home security. Maybe because most companies really don't make it easy. Because, with Simply Safe, I always fuck this part up because
You tried ad-libbing.
Yeah, I'm not good at the ad-lib portion. But I'm going to tell you right now, it is very hard because they, nope, don't got it there. Basically, it says to talk about things that prevent you from getting other companies.
Well, Zito, that is a very tough question. Listeners have tweeted me and told me.
Stop the
that,
Zito reads?
No, that every time these start, they are pulling so hard for you just to do one perfect run. And sometimes you get some hurdles in there. And today might be your worst attempt yet.
Like, did Todd get a hold of this one ahead of time? Put a bunch of exclamation points after every other word in there?
Zito literally uses this product every single day.
It's the one product that he uses every day, several times a day.
In numerous places.
Yes.
And I will say, I can't do it. I can't figure that little, that spot.
About why people would ever choose not to? Because it's
so good. Yeah,
it's so good. Why would you not?
Yeah, Simply Safe protects your whole home, every window, room, and door with 24/7 monitoring, just a fraction of the cost. Their police dispatch is up to 3.5 times faster because they use video verification. There's no contract, hidden fees, or fine print. It's designed to blend right into your home. No wires, no drilling. It's easy to order and easy to set up, usually in under an hour. Simply... What?
You looked up like a deer in headlights.
Simply Safe has won a ton of awards from CNET to the New York Times Wirecutter. Prices are always fair and honest. Around
Diggs, will you stop interrupting him?
Come on.
He was on a roll.
I was on a big roll. Prices are always fair and honest. Around the clock monitoring is just $15 a month. I'm going to call it some action here. Visit simplysafe.com/McAfee. You'll get free shipping and a 60-day risk-free trial. You've got nothing to lose. Go now and be sure you go to simplysafe.com/McAfee so they know our show sent you. That is simplysafe.com/McAfee. Simplysafe.com/McAfee. Thanks, guys.
You got better there towards the end, really.
It's just
After the
bad
or.
looks.
And under an oar.
Then under an oar. Simply Safe is incredible, though, by the way. It's an app. You have cameras now all over your house out of
Doorbells.
nowhere. Easy to set up. It's like you have this multi-million-dollar security system for a very limited price in your app. There's nothing like security and comfort, and Simply Safe provides that. It's simplysafe.com/McAfee.
McAfee.
Nailed it. Back to the show.
I forgot when you talked about swimming with sharks. Diggs and I literally did that when we went to, ironically enough, the Dominican 2 years ago.
You made
and
it
we
out.
survived.
You
By
made
the
it
way,
out, huh?
in the Dominican,
we
nowhere near the most dangerous thing you did down there was swimming with
No, who
sharks.
knew?
Just drinking
knew?
from that fucking mini bar.
Which is what we did all day
Prices
long.
are a dropping, my friends.
I saw you trying to pile on.
Oh yeah, I'm retweeting every single bad article about the Dominican. Getting those prices down to $30.
Diggs is going to get a fucking Groupon price for real to go down.
I
on
Yeah, we
snorkeled
did.
in Cancun and we came across school barracuda.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fuck that.
There
I
was those
shitting
there
myself.
too.
Hell yeah.
That was a scary looking.
The barracuda
thing.
was much more scary than the shark.
Yeah, they're eerie.
and you can see
in
their
the
teeth.
rays.
Yeah.
And the fucking eels are scary
There
too.
were rays, and I was like, all I could think about was Steve Irwin.
Yeah,
I was
those
just,
are different
RIP
rays.
Steve, come on,
Different
man.
rays.
I know, but still, you see it down there.
I always just assume, and you probably shouldn't do this, especially with all the stuff that's coming out now with everything. It's like, yeah, they wouldn't have me do this if I could get hurt. Like,
You would think.
AQ went and did a zip line thing down in Mexico. AQ is 400 pounds.
Shouldn't be doing that.
So I asked him, I think he FaceTimed me from the hotel. He's like, I'm going fucking zip line in jungle in Mexico. I'm like, is there not a weight limit? He was like, I didn't even ask. And I was like, did they mention anything? He was like, no, they didn't even mention it. I'm like, oh, well, they wouldn't have you do it if it was a potential problem.
Not Mexico.
Now that
no.
we're learning about it, it's like AQ should not have been fucking Tarzaning around those things down there. But he loved it. He got pictures and everything.
That zipline company, AQ Dies, doing that. All they do is pick it up and they move it 2 mountains down and just reopen it.
And they never announce it, by the way.
No.
It is not a single time. And it's like Sam, every time we go to a place, she wants to go to some lion's den to go pet these lions and shit like that.
That's a good idea.
And in my head, I'm always just like, well, they wouldn't have you do it if there's going to be a problem. But then I guess like a much smarter thought is, oh, nobody would ever know if you were just to get eaten by fucking whatever what's it, lion?
Fred the lion.
Simba, yeah. If Simba takes out Sam, I guess nobody would ever know. And I've always just had too much of, what's that called? Naive. When you just like, yeah, people's best intentions. Like, I feel like I've always been like that. Like, oh, that person would never do that. They looked me right in the eye and said that. But I guess now we're kind of in a new world. Especially this Dominican thing has scared me, by the way. It has scared me a lot.
Our situation was like a booze cruise, and so they booze you up while you're riding out to the little penned-in area where you can swim with these animals. And there were probably no less than 120 people on that boat, and they're doing that probably 6 times a day. You could easily swim to the other side of the boat and just been gone. No one would have even noticed.
Yeah, there's not like a head count on the way
No,
out.
not at all.
That's where the lack
Not at all.
of safety regulation comes into play. Because every one of those, if you go out scuba diving or snorkeling, they put you on one of those catamarans,
Yep.
and they have coolers full. They're like, "Who wants tequila shot?" They blow a whistle. And you're like, "I probably shouldn't be doing 12 shots of tequila before I scuba dive."
With probably Molly in those.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, when you fall into the ocean, you're just chum then too. You know, if you're drunk and then you like pass out and fall in there, it's like, shark will get him eventually.
You can't flail your arms and legs.
You and Jack are just floating around down there.
Exactly.
What's the story about Dominican though?
It's
just
Titanic, dude.
The tourists are getting sick and dying
from
in the
liquor.
resorts.
Their heart's stopping. They stop breathing.
They're using a certain. I think we talked about this. I think
It's like chemical
I
warfare.
don't know if it was on this show or Heartland Radio.
Heartland yesterday.
Heartland Radio yesterday. They're using a cleaning substance, I think, that is probably a much more efficient cleaning substance. It probably cleans quicker, but I think it has fatality side effects.
Yeah, maybe with uranium.
Yeah. And I think it's on the bottle, so when people drink, it gets in their mouth and they're dead. So it's like you drink out of your
straw.
Yeah, you drink water. Yes, probably not a plastic one though. Take it easy on the turtles. But somehow a metal straw is better than.
Yeah.
I don't fully understand.
That turtle's gonna choke on the metal one.
I don't fully understand how the metal straw has replaced the
Because
plastic.
it sinks to the bottom. The plastic one floats.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. But yeah, you're trying to drink a water, which you think is healthy for you, but it turns out it's a death sentence while you're on vacation. It's a scary situation down there in the Dominican.
That's what I never understood either. They tell you not to drink the water there, but then they're serving up all these drinks with ice in them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, no, that's filtered." I'm like, no.
Apparently, all the resorts have a water filtration system, but who knows?
Nah.
Trust it.
These are the same people that are putting AQ out on their zip lines.
I've got Montezuma's revenge every single time I go.
I don't think I've ever.
Tony, what'd you do? Just run out to the ocean real quick?
No. There's a big difference between going in very, very dark blue/brown Atlantic Ocean water and clean, clear Caribbean water. You do not
glad
shit
you
in
have
the Caribbean.
standards.
Yeah.
People on their balconies. We can see exactly what you're doing. This is crystal clear water. That's why we came here.
Oh, he's not peeing. Come look at this bearded lumberjack. Just spraying.
Looks like an octopus.
That's exactly what it would look like.
We didn't go on vacations, though, whenever I was a kid. Literally went on 0 vacations. So we went to Aruba after my grandma passed. So that was it. But so I never really, every time I go on a vacation, I feel like I'm learning something new, that I never really experienced before. And I think they're all so nice to you, mostly because you're bringing the money. So they're all very nice to you. And I'm always just like, these people wouldn't lie to me. No way. I'm supposed to take a Jeep Wrangler right up a fucking straight up hill. For sure. For sure I'm supposed to climb this thing straight up like a professional crawler out there. For sure. Flying over a volcano like 20 feet over an active volcano. I'm sure this helicopter's built for this. Yeah, this
Well, that was in the U.S. I think you're okay there.
yeah, true, but I mean, I'm sure there's helicopters.
They had one crash. One of those.
They go down all the
you
time.
said get the big one, don't get the small one.
Yes.
It was the small one that crashed.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
one of the things I think I'm pretty excited. Back to logic questions we were going to earlier. I think if you get an option for a bigger helicopter or a smaller helicopter, you go with the bigger helicopter.
Absolutely.
Yeah, in my head.
Would you guys do a hot air balloon?
Never in a million
No.
fucking years. I
No
couldn't
way.
even. All you hear is bad stories.
Yeah,
about
those
it.
things
Get blown
go
into
down or
space.
go into trees.
Why
all
can't they
the
have a
time.
bigger basket though? That's one thing I never
Dude, the
understood.
basket's huge.
Science, I think. I think it's probably science.
It has to be the that makes sense.
Also, the basket is much bigger than you think it is.
What do you mean?
Thanks. Have you ever been on a hot air balloon?
No. But I recently watched Yes Man, and Jim Carrey and his girlfriend were in it.
Oh,
and
CGI.
they could have fit like 7 people in that basket.
We could cut ties with all the lies that you've been living in. And if you do not want to see me again, I would understand. I would understand.
I read the bull.
So I wanted to.
I wanted kick drum.
I wanted to learn how to play that song
Different movie, yeah.
strictly because of that movie. I wanted to learn how to play that song.
Yeah.
Because he saved a life, obviously. I wanted to walk into a local Howl at the Moon and say, "Give me a fucking guitar." Dumb. Murder Mystery, by the way, has broken.
Again.
Broken?
Broken.
I was wondering.
Shattered.
Hey, by the way, congrats to me and Foxy being a part of a record.
Absolutely.
We broke a Netflix streaming record.
Yep.
And Zito with watching Adam Sandler and Gumpy.
What was the record?
Biggest weekend debut of any
Really?
Netflix movie in history.
It says a lot.
Murder Mystery by Adam Sandler, Happy Madison Productions, Jennifer Aniston, and also Netflix made that movie. So Netflix saying that it broke a Netflix record after being a company that Netflix invested hundreds of millions of dollars into might be a little suspicious, but I know I watch it. 4 people in this room watch it.
so good.
They beat Sandy?
I don't know how.
No, not the movie Sandy.
Bird
Because that
Box?
movie's terrible.
Yeah, Bird Box.
Oh,
Sandy
shut
Bird
up.
Oh,
That movie's terrible.
just crossed the line.
You have answered questions today about scuba diving, hot air ballooning, and now you're taking a
Logging.
shot.
Logging.
Logging.
He just tried to
wealth of
slide
knowledge.
it in there too. He thought he was going to get away
And
with
now
it.
you're taking shots at Sandy. I mean,
So beneath
if I've learned anything about this record, it's that Adam Sandler still got it. And that's why he's my favorite actor of all time.
I was just I haven't seen as much about this movie than I did Bird Box.
I
Bird
will
Box
say
was
that's
like-
impressive, yeah, because there's been like no pub about it. You just woke up one day and it was on there. There was no
Yeah.
commercials, there was no tweets about it. I didn't see
memes,
anything.
Nothing.
And I think it's because everybody knew and expected Adam Sandler to put out a heater.
moves
Something-
the needle.
It moves the needle. Adam Sandler gets 100 millions of views every
Don't
single year.
discredit Jen Aniston either.
No,
Jen
no,
Aniston
you
brought
can't.
her fair amount
Brought
of views,
Todd,
for sure.
sure.
Incredible writing.
Have you seen the movie, Todd?
No. I'm waiting till
Weekend two.
Marnie is not
Goes to the
there
house.
because I will masturbate.
Maybe wait till I'm gone too.
All right. Well, that's the show today. Can't wait to get to Pittsburgh tomorrow, Cincinnati, then Columbus. We have incredible guests lined up. We have an incredible show for you. We're so thankful. Had some heartbreaking news that I broke on Heartland Radio 2.0 yesterday. A business decision had to be made, and we took an office vote, and ultimately I had to carry the biggest hammer in the jurisdiction, but we were all on the same page here. I had to reschedule the second leg of the Pat McAfee Show Does America tour. Everybody's getting refunded. Everybody's going to get first access to tickets whenever we do reschedule. And honestly, I hate that it happened.
Remember when Paul Revere was supposed to go out with his wife that night, and they were like, we kind of need you to let everybody know if the British are coming. And he had to go tell her, I'm sorry, I won't be able to keep our plans tonight, and she got so upset about it.
He was stewed, too,
But
don't forget.
In that perspective, sometimes it's about the big picture.
And also, from what I've heard,
I knew it was
that was a great metaphor. But the Paul Revere story is a bunch of sack of shit.
Yeah, he was drunk.
Well, and that's why they ended up getting divorced, because she found out that he wasn't even that guy.
What we're saying is, Iowa, Detroit, and Minnesota. We will be there. I am so sorry that we're going to miss it. We're going to delay it. We're going to reschedule it. The show will be better, and I'm going to make it right. I promise. Aside from that, thanks for rocking with us today. Gumpy, great seeing you in the office and in the studio. Ty Schmidt, hit the music.